it's me, Jenny, and today I am welcoming you into my kitchen. It is another month, the end of July, and I missed last month because I wasn't here at the end of June. So today I'm going to do the BookTube Club June and July edition with lasagna because I've decided to cook. And I have my tea. Hee I don't really usually drink soda that much, but it's so hot outside. It's like 40 degrees and I'm sweating my whole entire body off, so I needed some iced tea to cool me off, and I don't have any cookies. But I have lasagna, so let's get down to it. I know that everyone and their grandma has their own lasagna recipe, so I'm just gonna tell you real quick what I've decided to throw into mine today. There's the regular tomato paste, then I have mozzarella. I usually use the shredded kind, but I've recently kind of developed a disliking for it, so I just went with the regular kind. Butter, because you know, you always need butter. Canned tomatoes. Then I have goat cheese because I've decided to make it all fancy schmancy and put some goat cheese in it, and I'm currently obsessed with goat cheese. I don't know why, I just love it. Don't judge me, don't judge me. Meat, obviously. My lasagna plates, which I've had forever because I hardly use any. It's like a huge pack and there's like 20 in them, and I use like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 or 8 maximum every time I make lasagna. Then I have 2 fresh tomatoes, I have onions, I have some milk for the sauce, and I have some flour for the sauce, and I have some fresh parsley. So yeah, let's get down to cooking. First things first, we're just gonna saute some meat. I've actually managed to finish reading 10 books in June and July, although 4 of them were short stories or novellas, so I don't know if they actually count. But in all, it was 10 literary entries. Now, 3 of those short stories were actually Cassandra Clare's Bane Chronicles, which was the Runaway Queen. What was the other one called? Vampire Scones and Edmund Herondale. And the last one was called The Midnight Heir. I didn't really like the Runaway Queen. I thought it was kind of mediocre. That's the problem with short stories, that, you know, they're not really that good most of the times. They just repeat what you already know about characters, which you already know, and just flesh out the story a little bit more, but it never actually truly grips you. Like, there's no major plot development or anything. I mean, how? They're only like 50 pages long, so you can't really develop a lot. But yeah, I really liked Vampire Scones and Edmund Herondale because it just tells the story of Will's father and how he met his mother and why he became the way he became. Why he, you know, lost his mansion, why he became a gambler. And then The Midnight Heir is the story of Tessa, Will, and James Herondale, and Magnus Bane meeting James Herondale. And you would think that I would love that one, but it was alright, I don't know. James just reminded me of another, like, Edmund was something else. He was kind of different than the stereotypical Herondale, you know, like tortured, good-looking guy. James, though, was the cliche of a Herondale. He was pretty, he had some major emotional issues, and it was just kind of boring, maybe because you don't get to know the character a lot during that time because, you know, it is just a short story. So yeah, Runaway Queen was my least favorite short story. Vampire Scones and Edmund Herondale was really interesting, and even though Will and Tessa do appear in Midnight Heir, it wasn't that good. Another book that I read in June was Attachments by Rowell. God, this was such a long time ago. I actually did a book review on that one, so if you're interested in the book, go check out my review. I gushed a lot. It was really sweet and adorable, and I sounded kind of incoherent in that one because I was really tired. I just wanted to get the video out. But if you like, you know, nice and sweet and just adorable books, then go check out Attachments by Rowell. I really like that one. I think I gave it, I don't know, 4 or 5 stars on Goodreads. I think I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. So yeah, go check it out. It's alright. I'm not crying. It's just Yans. Oh, I feel like life has been laughing at me today because first of all, I almost missed my end-term exam because traffic. There was a freaking traffic jam on the highway, but luckily I got there in time. And then I showered, took a shower, washed my hair, I shampooed my hair, and suddenly the hot water was gone. My butt has a cramp. It hurts. Look, I have some really dried up garlic because I hardly ever eat it. But at least it didn't rot, so I'm just gonna put it into the lasagna anyways because, you know, garlic is dried anyways. It doesn't matter whether it's a little bit wrinkly, I guess. Now that everything is chopped up and our meat is not burnt, hopefully, but nice and brown and crispy, I'm just gonna throw in everything. Just throw everything in. Dice some tomatoes. Ooh. Here, dice some onions, got some parsley and some garlic. In you go. Smells good. Add some tomato paste. Squeeze. My mom always told me that I have to squeeze tubes from the top, or I don't know if it was my mom or like my teacher. Otherwise, the tube will get ruined and you will have the product left up here. But, you know, I guess you guys all know that. Who cares? Another book that I actually read this month was The Shepherd's Way, which is actually a leadership book. It's like an interview with the CEO, I think the CEO of General Technologies, and how he learned to become a good leader by learning how to be a shepherd, how to, you know, work with sheep. It was really interesting, very different from what I usually read because it was actually nonfiction. It was kind of like an interview packed into a story, and a colleague of mine gave me that book, and I really liked it. So if you like something more on the psychological side, something more with, you know, like self-fulfillment with, you know, like team building, leadership, how to treat other people and stuff like that. If you plan on becoming a future CEO, then go read that book. I have no idea. I can't remember the author. The author was... Let me check. Leman? Kevin. Leman. So yeah. Now I have to let this stuff simmer for half an hour. So now I'm just gonna be making the bechamel sauce, the white stuff which goes in between the lasagna plates and the tomato sauce. I always used to think when I was younger that it was just melted cheese, but it's not. It's actually just butter and milk and flour, which now that I think about it is actually pretty disgusting, but it tastes amazing in lasagna. I love it. I love it. So another book that I actually finally finished was And the Mountains Echo by Khaled Hosseini. As always, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. It's the author who wrote The Kite Runner and Thousand Splendid Suns. And it's about a lot of people and how their life in Afghanistan and Greece, in the US, in France. And it's basically about this brother who loses his sister because she gets sold into a rich family in Kabul, and how the life of the people surrounding the siblings' life kind of change and what happens. And I really like it. There are a lot of POVs. It's a very moving story. I didn't expect any more and I didn't expect any less, so my expectations for this author have been met, and I highly recommend all his work. Now, another book that I've been wanting to read forever was The Fifth Wave, which I finally read, and it's so good. I really like it. It's another sci-fi dystopian kind of story, but I really like the story. It's just so good. And I'm gonna be spoilery here right now, so if you don't want to listen to this, I'll give you a thumbs up once I'm done with the spoilery part. I knew Ben was alive, just from how many times she named him, and Evan, he creeped me out so much because it was obvious that he was a silencer, but he was just so creepy. He was just such a stalker. And I think, you know, him being an alien and stuff, it was just so hilarious to read. And Cassie, oh my god, Cassie, she's so badass. And Nugget and her brother Sammy is just so adorable. And I really like the books. And yeah, it's actually, I'm kind of just slipping downwards. I really don't want the book to, you know, it kind of looked like it was set up to be a love triangle, and I really don't want the series to turn into another love triangle because, I mean, come on, Ben, just go with your ringer and just, Cassie, you with Evan. Evan is nice, Evan is an alien, Evan is a big choice. Yeah, so I'm really excited for the next book to come out. Very good read. Then the last short story that I read in July was so good. If you've read The Darkest Minds, go read In Time. It's just, I started reading the short story like I start reading every short story with no expectations because, you know, obviously I usually just get disappointed if I go in with high expectations. I went in with no expectations and I came out with so many feelings. It's just, Alexandra Bracken, you amaze me. You, lady, have done it. You made me fall in love with the character, and then you did what you do best. Fill in the blanks. So if you go read In Time after you've read The Darkest Mind, just go do it. Just do it, do it, do it. Another book that I read in April was Moloka'i, which was actually the book club read that me and Sonia agreed on reading, and I went in like reading that book thinking it was gonna be a happy Hawaiian Lilo and Stitch story, but no, it's a story about a little girl who gets leprosy, you know, and she gets carted off to an island named Moloka'i where she is isolated with a bunch of other people who have leprosy, and she is fighting for her life because ugly things happen when you get sick. And that story, I mean, it was nice. It was a really nice read, but it was not what I expected. I was expecting something, you know, like sunshine and butterflies and not wounds and people dying and yeah. So we were actually planning on doing a book club discussion on that one, but I don't really have time to film that, so it's kind of my fault. I'm not going to spoil you in case we do film it, but you know, if you want to be thinking about leprosy, go read Moloka'i. The last book that I actually read, which I actually finished today, is the second book in the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness, The Ask and the Answer, and oh my god, that book was just so mind-blowingly good. I wasn't that convinced by The Knife of Never Letting Go. There was a lot of world building. I didn't quite get into the plot, and I didn't feel the connections to the characters. But the second book, from the very first page, from the moment that Todd like wakes up and he just thinks Viola, I was hooked. This book is just so amazing. It is so fast-paced. There's so much happening, and the intensity of the relationships between the characters, whether it's like Davy or the mayor or, you know, Todd and Viola, it's just written so amazingly. I love it. I can't wait to read the last book. It took me so long to read the second book because I wasn't, you know, I liked the first one, but and this one is just so good. And the ending, oh my god, the ending is so amazing, so amazing. So this is the end of the video. I got my lasagna, and people are stealing my lasagna because they just decided to show up. Yay! Apparently I have a social life now, yay! And thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye! Die, mozzarella, die! So much fun, really.